A 6-month-old baby encountered by border agents. Good news, now improving at an area hospital.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection Deputy Commissioner Robert Perez joins us right now, live from D.C. with the very latest. Robert, tell us about the child who you encountered on Friday night, and also her father, who I understand has a criminal history.
Well, good morning, folks. And yes, Steve, look, some good news in that the 6-month-old child is now in stable condition, albeit she has a very critically serious condition. She's been moved to an area hospital in Houston. And her father is now in ICE custody in the same area in Houston. Now, he does have a very long criminal history, as you mentioned. And I think an important takeaway now, again, is that while we're really, really glad to hear that at least the child is stable, that this is another example of the type of behavior, the dangerous behavior that the loopholes in our legal framework is frankly incentivizing people to put themselves at risk, to put babies, in this case, children at risk, to take a treacherous journey across our border. Can't overstate the importance of fixing the loopholes that entice people to take that journey. And frankly, the most recent effort in that regard, which was the announcement of the Flores rule,
right,
that really is the beginning of breaking the backs of the criminal organizations that are profiting on these vulnerable people and disincentivizing people from taking these dangerous treks.
Sure, but Robert, you separated that family. Have you had criticism for that?
Well, Steve, look, you know, as we've always said, you know, the safety and wherewithal and security of the children is always first and foremost on our minds. And so when we have situations where there is any possibility of that being endangered, and certainly in this case where you're dealing with somebody who has an extensive criminal record here in the U.S. And multiple illegal crossings, right, these are the rare instances in where we will separate both the adult and the child.
Robert, could you tell me the decision that went into telling Elijah Cummings and company, stay away? We heard the criticism. You're very disruptive. We have too much going on here. Is getting a rebuke. I could certainly understand your point of view. What about the decision and some of the blowback?
Well, Brian, look, you know, so far this year, we've had over 60 different congressional delegations, staff delegations visit our southern border facilities. We are absolutely committed to the utmost transparency. We want to inform all these folks as best we can of what the reality on the border is and what actually is going on. That said, we have very stringent and clear guidelines on the behavior of which and how it is we need to manage those visits by virtue of keeping the visitors safe, our officers and agents safe, and the people in our custody safe, and adhering to the privacy rules that we have. In this case, we had a single instance of a group being particularly disruptive. Frankly, it was totally uncalled for and disappointing, but it is not the norm. I mean, by and large, these are constructive visits. Again, we look to be as transparent as we can, and we seek to inform these people as best we can, but we're not going to tolerate that type of disruptive behavior. Our frontline agents and officers deserve better, and we need to make sure that when people come into these facilities, that again, that we're keeping everybody safe. And while I sit here now, again, I will tell you, Brian, this is the rare occasion, something I don't recall happening anytime recently, and we're already, again, planning for and scheduling more visits from more congressional delegations and staff.
And we remember how disrespectful Elijah Cummings was to Kevin McElwain, the acting Homeland Security Director, last time. That prompted the whole president coming in to defend his Homeland Security Secretary. So I get it.